The title of this video will be The 9 Best Cookies in This House. And there should be a subtitle underneath it, if I can figure out how to do that, saying that you can buy in a grocery store. Because you could make all of these cookies in your own home and they would taste better, probably. But, don't eat cookies because sugar's bad for you. But if you were in the grocery store and you were seduced down that aisle that is labeled cookies, these are the ones that I would recommend. And some of these you can't actually buy in the regular grocery store. You have to go across town to the special grocery store. But I'm going to start at number 1, and that is McVitie's Digestive Biscuits. This one you have to buy separately, but they're the best. They're my favorite cookie. I'm going to call them all cookies, even though these are called biscuits. This is the packet of the milk chocolate flavored ones. The dark chocolate is the one that I featured in my little montage. They basically taste the same. Basically taste the same, and they look about the same. The chocolate's just a little bit darker. The focus of this is not the chocolate, although the chocolate makes it a little bit sweeter, which is actually what makes them the best cookie. But it's the digestive part. It's the graham flour that they use to make it. These are my notes. I have to look at them because I have ranked them, and I have some criteria that I used: shape, size, texture, taste, and design. So this one fulfills all of those in every category. The shape is round, which all cookies must be, and the size is just right. It's actually a little bit filling if you eat a cookie, if you eat one of these, and that's due partially to all the fiber, but it's also, if it was a little smaller, you'd want two. This one, I just want one when I buy it. When I bite into it, when I finish it, I'm like, I'm done. I finished my cookie. So the texture is a little bit flakier than a graham cracker, and it kind of melts in your mouth, unlike graham crackers, which they can be kind of stiff and cardboardy, unfortunately. So this is your choice if you want fiber with your cookie. This is the best of video. The taste, I've already said, it's a little bitter because of the whole wheat flour, and it's a little sweet because of the chocolate, and it's a little sour too. When I taste any whole wheat product, I think there's a little sourness, and that's what I like. That I think it must be the gluten. I don't know. I featured a gluten-free cookie in this pile here, and I don't taste that sourness. So we'll get to that. The last part is the design, which you've seen up close. It's got a nice grid of chocolate, and if you want to see how they make them, there are McVitie's videos. McVitie's videos, and on the back there's an embossed sheaf of wheat, and the word McVitie's and the word original embossed in it, and the font is perfect for this kind of cookie. It makes you feel like you're eating something that has culture and class and history. The milk chocolate is really melty, so you have to wear pants that you don't mind wiping your hands on after you've eaten. So we're moving on from the digestive biscuits, and we're going to the next, which also has chocolate. It's the Fudge Stripe. These are Keebler's. Wait, this is not the Fudge Stripe. This is the Fudge Stripe. This one also has a perfect shape. It's a little smaller, but this shortbread cookie, you don't want to have too much of it. So, and this is really melty. Actually, it's kind of warm in my house, so everything's melting on my hands. And the texture is perfect for a shortbread cookie. They're all uniform, and that's one of the reasons why I like store-bought cookies. Remember, don't eat cookies because they're bad for you. But if you want to eat a store-bought cookie, the shortbread in this Keebler Fudge Stripe cookie is very good, and it's just the right amount. It's not too dense, and it's not too thin. It's just right. Now I have to mention the design of the Fudge Stripe cookie because it's puzzling. Obviously there's stripes on the front and it's chocolate on the back, but that's not the design I'm talking about. I'm talking about the embossed design on the shortbread cookie itself. You've seen the up close. It looks like it's a field of diamonds, which I interpret as grain, and two elongated leaves. I don't know, but there's also joining them. Looks like a leaf that's kind of going through the hole, forming maybe an N or a Z. I don't know. And we can't go to the next one without mentioning the hole. This is the only one with holes. Why is there a hole? It's like a donut. It's fun, but it's a cookie, and it tastes perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect cookie. I would have it number 1, but it's not. It doesn't have the fiber. So I need to have McVitie's at the top. Moving on to Oreos. Obviously, they make the top of the list. In my montage, I didn't open it up. There's icing in the middle. It's the perfect amount. Don't get the double stuff. This is the perfect amount of icing. And on the surface, they have. It looks like they've debossed. You know the difference between embossing and. Just cutting myself off here for a moment to say that I've been using the word embossing when I meant debossing. And it just means that all these designs have been imprinted into the cookie. So back to the presentation. So on here, it's so interesting. There's the Oreo logo with the little antenna that belongs to Nabisco, which is a short form of National Biscuit Company. And around it, there looks like little debossed stars or flowers. And then surrounding that is a boundary or a border of spines or some form of fin. Or gear. It reminds me of the overly ornate designs of the Victorian age. And it's not too ornate. I mean, if you got any more details in here, you wouldn't be able to look at them. And if there are any few, it would look kind of cheap. So it's the perfect design. The best quality of the Oreo is the design, because for my taste, it's a little stiff. The cookie itself is just shortbread with a whole lot of dark chocolate, cocoa powder, like impressed in it. If you look at the recipes online, you'll see that it's basically shortbread cookie, and you take away a little bit of the flour and you throw in a whole bunch and you replace it with cocoa powder. So it's kind of stiff, and when you eat it, it doesn't crumble correctly. It's too bad because it tastes pretty good. Also, the reason why it's third on the list and not number 1 is because when I eat it, I get some of this cookie material in my teeth, and I have to pick it out with a toothpick or something. Or I have to drink a whole lot of tea to sort of dissolve it. It's an uncomfortable experience eating this cookie. Moving on to what's next? What's next? Nilla Wafers. Not vanilla, they're Nilla. And it's the cutest cookie. When I just want a taste of a cookie, I just take out one. See, I still have a whole bag, and it's because I just want one little taste. I just want a taste of a cookie. I just want a little treat, and that's what these are. Design-wise and quality-wise, they're all different sizes. It's too bad. Sometimes you want a bigger one and you grab it and it's just a little bit too. See, I don't know if you can. I'll have to do a close-up of these two, but these are not the same size, and they're different colors. Not much quality control in this Nilla Wafer factory, unfortunately, but they're very tasty, and the texture has just the right snap to it, and I like vanilla. I like the taste of vanilla. So that's number 4. Oh, I forgot. In my notes, I mentioned that you can once these do. See, because I leave these in the bag so long, like weeks, they sometimes get stale. I mean, they always get stale. So what you do is you crunch them up and you put them in a bowl and you pour your favorite milky beverage over it, and it's cereal. It's the perfect cereal. I'm sure there is a cereal out there that's basically Nilla Wafers crunched up in, or tiny. Maybe there's even a Nilla Wafer cereal. I don't know. I'll have to research that. That might be another video. I might do a cereal video now because, I mean, why not? I'm doing unhealthy foods, and cereal's bad for you too. So next on the list is Fig Newtons, and I've eaten all of them but one because I really like Fig Newtons. These are the gluten-free kind. It's made by Pamela's, and it's, I mean, you could say it's not really a cookie. It's kind of a cake. It's kind of a pastry. It's got a fig paste surrounded by a jacket of basically pastry. It's not cookie dough. I'm including it because it's in that aisle. I'm including all these things that are called cookies by the United States Grocers Association. I'm going to call them cookies. So the reason I like Fig Newtons is the texture of the paste. And unfortunately, some of the other brands don't have, the paste is obviously concocted in a lab somewhere. And I think that this is actually made from figs. You can taste the little seeds, and it's got a really complex combination of sweet and sour and bitter all in one little cookie. And I think that's why I don't mind not having a lot of taste in the gluten-free jacket of pastry. You need the jacket of pastry to counteract the pastiness. You can't just eat it. You can't just like eat fig paste. It tastes better if you have this balance of, I don't know what it's a bitterness and also a texture difference. This is a perfect little cookie. And unfortunately, there's absolutely no design qualities to this. It's obviously been, you can tell it's been on a conveyor belt and some robot has chopped them up, and you can tell this is a fabricated object. I bet a homemade version would be much better. So I keep going on about this. This is my one chance to talk about my favorite subject. Number 7 on the list is animal crackers. And I have to admit, these don't taste good, and they're not satisfying because there's too many in one package to eat in one go. And if you leave them just for a day, they get stale and they get mushy, and they're not good. Also, design-wise, you can't really tell what these animals are. There's some you can tell, and there's clues on the box. There's pictures. I'll have up-close pictures of the box. But even the illustrations of what these cookies are supposed to look like are inaccurate, because really I could only immediately identify the lion and the seal. And I still don't know if this is a sheep. I don't know. Monkeys. That's a giraffe. It's been crumbled. I think these are kangaroos with crumbled heads. 4 camels. I believe these are rhinoceroses. They might not be the same animal. There's 3 seals. I believe these are supposed to be zebras. And I think these are 3 sheep, but they could be gorillas. Crumpled bits. I can't identify these. One of them might be a bison or hippopotamus. That's a lion. And 2 more that I just can't identify. I mean, there's legs there and a body and a head, but I don't know what that is. I don't even know where to begin with this one. Don't know. Panther. There's some clues here. A lion, a seal, a hippopotamus, a koala, and an elephant. I haven't identified the elephant, but I did notice that the lion is reversed and the seal is reversed. So maybe this koala, maybe this is a reversed koala? Maybe? Yep. While I'm at the table, I will show you this cookie, which is not available in a grocery store, so I broke my rule. But it's the only chocolate chip cookie that I can't make myself that actually I feel tastes good. It's a triple chip cookie, so it's not chocolate chip. There's, well, I'll just open it, shall I? There's 3 kinds of chips in here.
There's bittersweet chocolate chips, milk chocolate chips,
And another one's white chocolate. And you can taste them all. And usually these are nice and soft. They are made by a company called Jimmy John's, which is a sandwich shop here in the United States. So if you don't have a Jimmy John's near your house, I'm sorry, you can't eat this cookie. It's a really good cookie. Again, I can't find any good cookies, chocolate chip cookies in grocery stores. It's a tragedy. I have to make them myself, and so I don't. So I go to Jimmy John's and I buy their sandwiches and I get a cookie for a dessert.
And the reason I've chosen this one to be the best of all the cookies that you can buy that are factory made is because it has all 3 of the aspects that I look for in a good cookie. The taste, which is obviously it's sweet, but there's a combination of tastes that this chocolate chip cookie has that most don't. And I think part of it is the fact that it has the 3 different chips, the bittersweet, the milk chocolate, and the white. The white has a little bit of a sour taste. The bittersweet, obviously, is just a little bit bitter. And milk chocolate has that complex, almost sulfury taste. Plus, in the dough of the cookie, there's a richness to the sweetness. And I think that comes from the brown sugar. The brown sugar also makes it soft. And I know a lot of people won't eat a soft chocolate chip cookie. They prefer the crispy ones. And I understand having that preference, but I prefer the soft ones. So the texture, the taste, and the design of it, I have to say, I like a round cookie that's not too big. Some people try to make huge, humongo chocolate chip cookies that I can't get through. There's too much of it there. This one's just the right size, just the right shape. One of the problems you run into with any fast food is consistency. Not only consistency of shape and size, but the actual material itself. It sometimes tastes old. These have been frozen and shipped to Jimmy John's kiosks. So the defrosting stage can sometimes make their cookies a little bit rubbery, and that's too bad. That's why it's a little bit lower on the list. But overall, you can't find a better chocolate chip cookie in a grocery store. There are soft ones in grocery stores, but they tend to be way too sweet. So this one is just right. Moving on.
This is, it looks, on the outside, it just looks like a vanilla or a sugar cookie, but it's a lemon cookie. It's lemon flavored sugar cookie. And when I first tasted one of these, like homemade, it was a Greek recipe. They were called korpietes. They were my favorite cookie from then on. I would only eat lemon flavored sugar cookies or a homemade snickerdoodle. I'll make another video about snickerdoodles. I might even make snickerdoodles because you can't find nobody makes snickerdoodles as good as you do when you're at home. Unfortunately. Same thing with these. But Tate's is the best store brand. I'll even show you this. That is what you look for, that package, because the only sugar cookie that has lemon flavor in it that's any good is Tate's. It's got the right shape. It's got the right snap to it. And the lemon flavor actually tastes like they used an actual organic lemon and squeezed it and put it in there. So other than that, it's a plain cookie. It's something that you put in your mouth. You don't enjoy the experience of looking at it. So the last cookie, I'm going to call them cookies. You can't buy these in the cookie aisle. It's mochi. And I got these at the Asian food market. I got two different. I only buy two. I buy red bean mochi, which is traditional, and I buy sesame mochi. And you've seen the inside of them. It's a paste surrounded by rice flour. I wouldn't even call it a dough. It's sort of like a gel. It's the most interesting texture. If you haven't tasted mochi, I would recommend it. Go find it. The taste between the sesame and the red bean is very different. They're both mild flavors, and it's expensive. Like, you buy one of these and you just get a tray, and you only get six. Only get 6 cookies. So this is a special treat. This is what you share with your friends. You say, would you like to come over for some tea? And you give them a mochi. And if they've watched this video, then they know how special it is. So those are my favorite cookies that you can buy in a store. And if you made it this far, I'm so glad. Thank you. And thank you for watching previous videos. I really appreciate your attention.